Good morning, everybody. On to another video. I've been sick for the last week, so I haven't got much done out here. I haven't been out here. But to catch you up with what I'm doing, trying to get these doors and everything lined up. Now the fender, of course, is just laying on here until I get these doors just where I want them. I've decided I'm going to go with an 1/8 of an inch door gap. This is about 3/16, which I'd probably rather have, but just to get this, it was really hard to get the door forward far enough. The front door would just barely get there forward far enough, and to have the right gap here, you know, this fender shoves so far forward that in a lot of places I can't get bolts in. So that tells me that I'm a little bit on the edge. I should go ahead and go with an 1/8 of an inch. Now I had a little trouble with something here I wanted to show you guys, is my hinge pins. Now of course it's really hard to see in there if hold on a second. Let's see here. There you go. See my hinge pins. Of course, I rebuilt all the hinges and sunk the pins in, bolt doors up and all that, which is all great, but you can't get to the top of them to knock them back out. You know, the reason I want to do that is paint all the parts off the car, paint everything separately, put it back together, and I wanted to pull these pins out without having to readjust stuff and scratch the doors all up. I just want to slide them in there and stick the pins in and be done. But of course I figured out you just got to put the pins in just enough that they stay in there, especially on these back doors. I mean, you just can't get, that pin is so long and you've got no room to get in there to get underneath it to knock it out. And of course, once the head's sunk in, you can't get to them. But to help out, made a special little tool here. It's a couple different angles. And all that was some sort of brace that had holes in both ends, so I just wallered them out, cut them out, and I can stick, you know, I'll be able to, sorry. Stick that underneath the head, so it's so dark I can't see. And then what I'll do is I can tap it with a hammer and pull the pins out. Of course, I'll get some kind of a long steel rod, you know, that I can slide up in there and get it all padded once the car and everything's painted. And I can, you know, knock those pins up in place. So the whole back door situation was kind of a bitch. And the front doors, of course, without the fenders on, I'll show you on the other side. Of course, without the fenders on, you can get right to them, you know. So if it was a two-door car, this is all you had to deal with, not a big deal. You can knock them right out. But of course, I just got them sunk in just enough that they stay there, and I can get my little tool in there and pull them up if I need to, you know. So we're getting there. Let me spend a little time on these doors. I can spend hours and hours on these doors getting them straightened out. It's kind of why I wanted to be able to do it one time and be done with it. You know, I got my back door here set up for the pins to come out. Now I somehow lost a few screws for these Phillips head screws. Well, the original ones are really crappy, super soft metal, not very useful. But these are stainless steel, it's super hard, you know. So I'm not watering out my Phillips head, and they really sink down inside those concaves really good. Now once I get it all done and I pull the doors off, before I paint it, I'll pull each one out one at a time and I'll put blue locking seal, the Lucite, not the red Loctite, because I want to be able to take it apart if I have to easily, but that locking seal will keep those from loosening up, and then I'll get them all cranked down when it's all apart. So you can see another hinge pin in there sticking up. Anyway, let me spend a little time on here and get all these doors straightened up, and I can figure out my body lines, what I need to fix. I've got one issue here, and I've got an idea how I'm going to fix it, and I really was considering going to blow it off and just, you know, it is what it is. If you see the bottom of this door, it's pretty nice for the first half of it, then it goes up. So once I know I got the doors right where I want them compared to the fenders, and of course the bottom of these doors have all been fixed, so I can't just line it up at the bottom and have everything land where it's supposed to be on a good door. So I can't go by that. I have to go from here this way, and it's making it kind of tough to get everything leveled out. But once I do, what I'll do, I'll grind that down the middle right on the end, and I'll have some metal rod, some steel rod if I can find a piece. Here's a piece right here. This is a little bigger. I have some smaller stuff, but I'd use this if I had to. I'd weld that right on the edge of that bottom of that door, and then grind it down flush how I want it, and hopefully end up just doing a little bit of polyester by the time I'm done. Who knows? We'll see. But I'll probably do that, plus with some other repairs. I still have an issue here. You guys can see that door is pretty even and lined up all the way down through here till you get to here, and it sticks out just a little bit. This whole door was caved in, so what's happened is these high spots, you can see the metal here, and of course you stop there. The problem is this is all poked out, okay? So it needs beat down, blocked out, and finished out really good. So it's not going to be a bad fix, I don't think, once I get the door to know exactly where I want it. A lot of time, a lot of detail work, but we're getting there. We'll get back with you. All right, well, I spent all day yesterday just getting doors squared up. Now there's a lot of body damage that was repaired through here, so I wanted to get all the body lines, and like I was telling you earlier, I want to get my doors adjusted basically where they're going to be at, and then I can yank my pins out and go on down the line and then once it's painted, put it back together. But I've got things that need fixed. So this body line is just right all the way through here. Of course, there's a little funny, the end of these doors on both sides are kind of cut in. It's probably for a reason, but it is factory. I didn't do anything up here. I don't think there's any damage up here, so it's just what it is. But if you can see this right here, how this sticks out. Well, this is bare metal here, bare metal here, bare metal here. This whole door was caved in, and I fought it and fought it and fought it. But now that I have the door on here, what I can do is I can knock this down, because this got flared out when it got hit. And looking at old pictures of the car before I took it apart, this stuck out even before I took it apart. So what I need to do is knock this down, block this out, and get this line back up. Do whatever I got to do to get this body line lined back up so that's not sticking out like some kind of flag or something. And you can kind of see from this angle, if you see what I'm saying, and the rest of the door is good. So that tells me I need to do something there. Another spot, of course, with the same door. Now both doors on both sides, the back door is just short of the body line compared to the front door. you know, and I don't have Bondo in the door right here, so I know that's where the door is supposed to be. So I've got to work these out. What I'll do is probably get behind here and knock this out just a little bit, just a scotch, block it all out, skim it with some filler finishing putty, and get that to line back up a little bit better. But I want metal on this edge. I want metal right here and not Bondo. I don't mind having a little Bondo back here, but on edges I just don't want Bondo. And I'm going to show you why here in a second. Anyhow, you can see this front fender sticks out just a little bit, and it looks like that body line's a little bit sharp, not quite lined up with the body line in the door, and the reason for that is there's too much Bondo right there. So I need to block that down, get the body lines lined up, you get all that. Got all my door latches in place, the strikers, the latches, the hinges. Fenders are pretty much bolted on. There's a little bit of a body line, looks pretty good. I've got temporary, like one bolt in the bottom, just holding it still. Bolted here on top, here on the core support. Now this core support, like I was telling in a few videos back, there's only one mount in the center of the core support, so it's allowed to flex. The only thing that keeps it from flexing is this bracket right here. This bracket goes to the back side of the core support, and this bolts to the bumper on the outside of the bumper here. Now the reason for that is that locates, lets it all kind of flex a little bit. Bad thing was, this was a good one. The one on the other side was rusted all the way in two. That's the reason that these fenders were so wavy from the front end of the car moving around like that, and it kind of crinkled all the fenders. That's what was such a bear. Now this side has its own issues. You know, so I've got to work this core support around, and I basically want to get the fenders in here so that I know where everything's going to be at, everything's going to line up, and make sure the doors are where they're supposed to be. I got my cowl panel in here. It's not very adjustable, though I might make it a little bit of adjustable just to help a little bit. Got my windshield chrome that goes on the bottom of the glass, and it's not really adjustable, but I'll probably waller out the holes just a little bit. I had a problem right here. This door, when I lined up the back door with the rocker panel, and I had 1/8 of an inch of a gap from top to bottom, had it perfect. I can't go by the bottom of the doors because I redid all of them, so they're not exactly right. Some of them may get fixed a little bit here and there, but well, by the time I got this door on and got it square to that door, measured from here all the way to the tail end of the car, it was perfect, exactly, I don't know, 183 inches or whatever it was on both sides. I thought, oh, I'm great now. Well, the top of this door was just about touching this A-pillar right underneath here, and I know this chrome trim has to go here. You've got to have a little room for this door to open and shut, and there's a little rubber weather strip that goes in behind there. Well, the other side had a 3/16 of an inch gap, or even bigger. So something's funny with the car, probably because all the bracing all over the car was all rusted out on all corners, and the whole thing flexing around. So I think the body's just tweaked just the tiniest little bit. And what I think I'll have to do, this is what I ended up with, which you may not be able to see it, and it may not be enough to worry about, but it's a little tight down here compared to here. It's a little bit, just to get these level, measured from here to the roof line, exactly the same on both sides. It's a little bit, it seems like it's a little bit big here and a little tighter down there. There's the reason I don't want Bondo on a corner, on an edge like that. This door was caved in too, of course. All of them were somehow or another. So I'll have to grind this down, pull this out a little bit, because the door's good here and it's good right here for the most part. Then we'll get that smoothed out and the body lines lined up. You know, I'll do some metal work and pull a dolly and hammer and knock this out a little bit. I have to do the same thing here. this has been hit right here. And this body line was tucked in, this part was tucked in, so I've already worked it out a little bit. It's just about ready for a skim coat once I grind it down a little bit. But you know, a lot of work. I can't tell you the hours I have in just getting these 4 doors lined up, getting the fenders to fit right, and know where I'm at. But that's so that I can have the nicest job when I'm done. You know, I want the body lines to line up best I can from the factory, or at least from the dealer. This car had stainless steel door edge guards here. Now I'm going to go through all this work, get all these body lines lined up, and I think I'm not going to use them. I have them if somebody else wants to put them on there, or if I decide to later, get a little chip, I could put it on there, and you know. But I'm going to do so much work getting everything so nice. Those would really help hide a whole lot of imperfections, but I'm going to fix the imperfections and I'm not going to need them. The car looks sleeker. It'll have its belt line molding going down here, the chrome around here, and I don't want a lateral piece of stainless steel. It's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Who knows what I'll end up doing. But we're just going to make this a short update on the car. I haven't put a video up for a while. I've been really busy. Been busy messing with these doors and hinges. I've spent hours and hours and hours. I probably have 25 hours in door hinges and aligning doors and fenders, but we're getting there. So I'll fix all my bodywork issues that I want to, and I'm going to reprime from here all the way over to here. Probably the bottom of these fenders and everything. I'll get them blocked out on the car. I may even get them wet sanded on the car, but maybe not. I think I'm going to wait. I'll get them blocked out and make sure everything turned out like I wanted it to. Then I'll pull the sheet metal off the car, put it in the house, get the body dolled up, get it wet sanded. If not, I'll pull the motor and transmission out first so I can clean up this firewall and get it prepped for paint. Get the body prepped for paint, and we're going to be painting. I'm going to pour 15, the whole entire floorboard, all in there, the trunk floorboard, everything. And what that's going to help me do is, of course, once I blow it out, vacuum out best I can, get all the dust and dirt out, I pour 15 everything. It's really going to, any kind of dust or dirt's going to get sealed up. It's not going to blow into my paint. I'll have enough problems with dirt and trash in my paint, I already know. Clean this garage up. Let's get this thing painted. It's starting to look pretty good, really. I think these body lines from the factory just didn't really do too good anyway. So it kind of looks like this front door is in. See, I have Bondo right here. There's a high spot here and one right down here. Oh, excuse me, one right here. So that tells me this has been caved in. I might add just a little bit here and block across this whole thing. Get these body lines lined up. You know, but I'll pull this out. I'm gonna pull this out best I can without having a whole bunch of Bondo on that corner. Maybe just a skim coat. There we go, folks. Hope you had a good weekend. I've had a couple weekends of nothing but this crap, but it's over with. We're getting to the end. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.